thank you for tuning in to another Empires and Puzzles Books video. Our previous video was on the newly released Hero Academy and analysis of that. Today's video is going to be an analysis of the Alchemy Lab. If there are any other topics in regards to EMP that you'd like me to do a video on or to do some research on, please post it in the comments. I'm always looking forward to reviewing another aspect of the game. Also, I enjoy doing EMP challenge raids, so if you have an idea for a unique raid, like the mirror challenge or 3s against 5s, those kind of things, if you look on my channel, there's a lot of challenge videos. I'm always interested in doing those, so feel free to post a challenge raid option in the comments, and I'll see if I can attack your challenge. So today we're going to be talking about the Alchemy Lab. Before we get into that, I do want to show some things around here on the screen. I did advance the production on Stronghold 25, so you can see that here with the new front gate with the banners and flags. And I've also done a few advances on the Hero Academy, so I'm currently on level 3, and it's producing level 4 now. I'm trying to get my Hero Academy up to level 7, so hopefully I can do that in the next week or so, and I can post a video about how I'm using the Hero Academy. So like I said, today is going to be on the Alchemy Lab. I did have this building finished up to level 10 before version 30 was released, so I was kind of ready to go when they introduced the 10 new levels of the Alchemy Lab. So if you're not familiar, there were previously 10 levels, and now there are another 10 levels. Some places they're referring to the levels as 1A and B, 2A and B. I'm just calling them 1 through 20. I just think that's easier to make a reference to them. So the Alchemy Lab is basically a place where we can transmute a whole bunch of extra items we have in our inventory that we're not using into something better. For me, since I do lots of farming, I have tons of materials that I can use to fill up the Alchemy Lab. And although it's interesting that you can put items in and get something else out, my primary focus is not that. My primary focus is the Alka Shards that you're getting through the production in the Alchemy Lab. So let's jump in here and take a look at what I'm talking about. So when you go into a level, so this is just level 2 here. If I want to go in and transmute something, I go in here and there's a pot. It's telling me I need to put 12 items in. And it can be any mix of these items that are at the bottom. You enter those in and you hit transmute and it'll start transmuting. And in a few hours, depending on the level, or a few days, depending on the level, you'll have a new item. Now this level is using common crafting materials to create an uncommon crafting material. Now, there is no choice on the item that pops out. You just know that it's going to be a 2-star crafting material. So that said, although I find it interesting that you can upgrade your items, you can't really choose. So that is not the most fascinating part of the lab to me. What's interesting to me about the lab is every transmutation also puts out these things called Alka Shards. You can see at the top of my screen up here. That's what the Alka Shards look like, and you get a couple of those with every transmutation. And there's an option for you to use a few gems to increase the number of shards you get. So once you have 1,000 shards, so again here at the top you can see I have 820. Once you get to 1,000, you can click combine. When you click that combine button, which we're going to do in a little bit, you're going to see 6 items appear. There will be 2 different weapons. There will be 2 different sets of emblems, 10 each, and 2 3-star or higher ascension items. These would be unfarmable ascension items, and there's like a 5% chance of getting a 4-star. Of course, you know, it's the rare that you'll get the 4-star option, but that is there. So that I have plenty of 3-star ascension items. It'll be interesting to me if I get the option for the 4-star, but really I'm functioning this lab every day. I'm going to keep it running just so that I can be collecting 100 emblems per month. That to me is the real desire behind this Alchemy Lab. So I'm going to show you how I'm getting 100 emblems per month. It's basically accruing 10,000 Alka Shards, so I'll show you the math on that, and I will go through what the different levels are doing. I might not get into them all in huge detail because what I'm really interested in is how I'm producing these emblems as quickly as I plan on producing them. So in the previous version of the Alchemy Lab, every level was increasing an item to the next item. So like the level here, number 2 that I just used, it was taking common crafting materials and moving them up to an uncommon. And you can see in the bottom left corner, there's an icon of an arrow going up. That's indicating that you're increasing the star value of the item. If you look at level 1, that's taking common crafting materials and turning them into other common crafting materials. Those levels are not as interesting to me, and they're also very expensive from the food standpoint. But if there is a specific item you need and you have a whole bunch of other items, you can transmute into that. Now, unlike the levels where you upgrade where you have no choice, on the levels that are transmuting within the star level, so you're going from a 1-star item to a 1-star item or a 3-star to a 3-star, when you go into that screen where you're putting items in, if you want, now this is one where you're upgrading, but let's just say this was one where you're going from common to common. Let's say I really wanted to get the crude iron. I could fill the pot with all of these items, and then I'm guaranteed to get crude iron out. So if you are light on something and you want to make a material, those options where you have kind of this infinity X in the lower left corner, those are the ones where you can actually kind of have more choice on your item. But again, they're going to be much more expensive on food. So the pattern pretty much goes down the lab with what you're putting in. So the first 2 levels, you're putting in common craft, and you're either getting out common craft or an uncommon craft. The next 2 levels are common battle and uncommon battle. So again, you're putting a common battle item into both of these levels, but you'll either get another common out or an uncommon. And then it goes on to ascension materials. So 1-star ascension materials will either get you another 1-star ascension or a 2-star ascension. And you can see this pattern goes up as you're just increasing star levels. So we're back to crafting materials at the 2-star level to get either a 2 or 3 out. And then the battle items, so same with them, 2 to 2 or 2 to 3. And then you'll see ascension items again, 2 to 2 or 2 to 3. Now you will see my rare battle items here. They're ready to transmute because I've already researched, but I cannot do a transmutation on that right now because the game limits you to 3 levels running at a time, and I have all 3 of the levels that I want to be running. And I'll explain what I'm running and why in just a moment. So again, that pattern continues all the way down until you get to the end, because obviously you run out of levels that you can increase because there's only so many stars. So on levels 17 and 18, you're transmuting epic craft into a different epic craft, or transmuting epic battle into a different epic battle. And then 19, which to me is one of the best to be running, is where you're taking a rare ascension item, so a 3-star ascension item, and transmuting that into either an unfarmable rare ascension item, like an orb or sturdy shield, trap tools, things along that nature, and you have that 5% chance that you might actually get a 4-star ascension item out of it. The last level is transmuting epic to epic. So if you happen to have an excess of 1 4-star ascension item, you can stick them in there and get another 4-star ascension item out. Again, you don't have a choice of what that item would be, but and that's a 1-to-1. You only need to put 1 thing into that recipe to get 1 out. So I imagine that's probably more geared towards late game players who have been accruing a lot of materials, already have a lot of 5s leveled, and have these excess of 4-star ascension materials. To me, that's a non-starter because I use my 4-star ascension materials pretty much as quickly as I get them. All right, so let's talk about how I decided what levels I'm doing. So as I said, although it's interesting to increase the value of some of your items going from 1 to 2 or 3 to 4 or whatever, I don't have any control of what I'm getting out. So that is not as interesting to me as getting the Alka Shards. So I'm looking for efficiency in getting Alka Shards so I can be efficient in getting more emblems for my heroes. So let's go back to here. Level 2 is common crafting materials that get turned into uncommon. Almost every player, I may imagine even free-to-play and cheap-to-play players are going to have piles of 1-star crafting materials that you just do not need. Like I said, I do a lot of farming, so if you look at my inventory and I go to crafting and go down to the 1-star ascension items, it's insane how much stuff I have. I mean, there's over 11,000 large bones, 11,000 leather straps. I can keep this thing fed for quite a while. So going back to the lab here, and this is also a very food efficient level to be running. It only costs a little over 43,000 food per day to keep this thing running 24 hours a day. So, I just click on here. I usually hit the autofill, which will take whatever item you have the most of, which are these here. And then I just hit transmute, click on it, autofill, transmute, and it just keeps adding time onto it. So it's not much to keep that running. Doesn't require much food. So that to me, some folks have referred to that as the TC11 of the Alchemy Lab. It's the one level that you'll probably just want to keep running all the time because you'll have enough items to put in it to maintain it, and it doesn't cost that much food. It's actually the third cheapest to run as far as food goes. Now, in addition to the item that you get out, and I'm going to do the collection on these, so you'll see me collect these and trade these into Alka Shards in a minute and select what items I want. But when you do that, you'll get only two Alka Shards, but for one gem, you can get another bonus shard, which I will also do, although that's a bad buy for only 1-to-1. You'll see that there's other buys that are going to be much better. So I was running this level here with the rare battle items, but I recently just upgraded to the rare ascension materials. So again, these are your 3-star items that you'll probably have a lot of that you can, your 2-star items that'll upgrade to a 3-star ascension item. So I have plenty of those 2-star ascension items. Again, we can go over and look at the inventory just to see what that looks like. If you look down at the 2-star ascension items, I mean, there's 16,000 arcane scripts and 19,000 daggers and 17,000 leather armor. So there's more than enough items to be, again, keeping this running pretty much forever. Let me go back here. So again, it's the same thing as before. Now I am low on ham, so I won't be able to feed this now. But you can see how many items are in here, and I can just add those to fill 15 into the pot. Click that transmute button, and then it starts. You can see at the top it takes 15 hours for that to run, and we'll get an item pop out. I've been having this running for a few days now, so I have 4 items to collect. This is also a fairly food efficient level. It's taking me about 72,000 hams per day to keep this running, and the Alka Shards it puts out actually 41 Alka Shards, and then for only 7 gems you'll get another 14. So you're getting 2-to-1 on that upgrade of Alka Shards. So I'll definitely be doing that too. If it's not obvious already, I am pay to play, so I don't mind spending gems on these things. I'm looking for the efficiency and time here. So level 19, again, which is, I think, the best level to keep running. It's a great bang for the buck. It's actually the cheapest level of any of the 20 levels to run for food. It only costs just under 18,000 food per day to keep this thing running. Now, part of the reason is it takes an entire week for it to run one time. And keep in mind, this is the once a week chance to get a 4-star ascension item. If not, you'll get a 3-star ascension item out of it. So on the Alka Shard end, it's really awesome though, because it gives you 1,050 per week, which 1,000 just there, that 1,000 is one pull in the 1,000 that it's not pull summons. It's 1,000 that you can combine and immediately get 10 emblems or one of those other items. So at least once a week, I'm going to be getting this, and then for 150 gems, I will get an extra 350 shards. So that is a really great deal. It's more than 2 for 1, and that's 350 shards is more than a third of another combination. So between the 3 levels that I'm running, my entire, from the recipe standpoint, it's not costing me a lot of materials because I have an insane amount of all of these materials at this point. The ham per day, it's costing me about 18,000 for that high level, 72,000 for the middle level, and 43 for the lower level. So it's about 120, 130,000 hams per day. That's not very much ham just to keep this thing running. So again, the recipe, I have those items. The hams are not very taxing. There's really no reason not to keep this Alchemy Lab running non-stop. So as I keep it running, I will be pulling in every week 2,520 Alka Shards. So that's 2.5 combinations a week. In a 4-week month, it'll be just over 10,000 Alka Shards, which will be 10 pulls. Or I keep saying pulls because I'm used to doing summons in the game. It'll be 10 combinations of the Alka Shards. So if I only ever get 10 emblems, 10 of those times 10, that's 100 emblems per month for my heroes. I also pay for the VIP, so you get an emblem every day with that, so that's 30. So you're talking about an added 130 emblems per month for your heroes, which as rare as emblems are, I think that's where the real value of this comes in. So let's go ahead and collect some of these items so you can see what's going on. So again, this level 2 here, I put in 1-star ascension items. I'm getting out 2-star ascension items. Frankly, I could really care what they are. I'm just really interested in getting those Alka Shards. So let me go ahead and collect. So this is showing you what I got as a result of those. You can see the 134 Alka Shards there at the end. That's really what I was looking for. So for 67 gems, I'm going to be able to boost that up and get more Alka Shards out of it. So do that. So now you can see I'm getting another 67 on top of that 134. So let's go ahead and collect. And now you can see at the top, the combine is open, so I can go ahead and do that. I'm going to wait because I'm going to do 2 of them. So let's go down here. Now this was the 2-star ascension items that I put in to upgrade to a 3-star ascension item. So let's go in and see what we got in there. Okay, and again, not any items that I really need, but those 164 Alka Shards are what I'm really after. I'm going to go ahead and boost those. Get another 56. We're going to collect that. And you can see we're up to 1,200, and we're going to get well more than that on this last one, because I do have one item here. Oh, wait, I'm not ready to collect this. All right, my bad. I'm a day and 19 hours shy. This runs once a week. Sorry about that. I'm only going to be able to do 1 collection. I was hoping to do 2 for you all. So I'm going to combine these Alka Shards. So this is going to pull up a screen with 6 items on it, 2 weapons, 2 sets of emblems, and 2 ascension items. So you can see I can take a warm cape, I can take 1 orb, 10 of either of the emblems that are there, or the 5 harpoons, or the 5 hurricanes. I'm going to go ahead and grab the 10 barbarian emblems. So you select what item you want, and then at the bottom you just click combine, and now I can collect my items. So in a day or so, when this one is finished, I will be able to collect that. Hopefully I get a 4-star ascension item out of that, and then that'll also give me the option to pull another item, which could theoretically be another 4-star ascension item. Realistically, I'm just planning on getting 10 more emblems. So that's how I'm using the Alchemy Lab. I hope that helps you. I wish you well in your game. Have great tiles. Thank you.